After morning and welcome to 2024. We are back with the news because there's been an incredibly large amount of new launched products at CES, and I'm going to try and get this within 6 minutes. So without further ado, let's go. Starting off with the AMD, they've announced a whole new slew of processors. 8000G is going to be coming at you before the other stuff, which is kind of a weird way to release the stuff, but it's fine because at least we got some model numbers and stuff to look at, and some performance and speeds and 65 watt TDPs with like extremely high-end graphics by the looks of things, like on the 8700G, and it's got some AI stuff going on there as well, you know, average sort of AMD performance at this point in time. But yeah, even the 8300G has a 4-core 8-thread with a 740M, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how these integrated GPUs perform. But beyond that, there's also huge news for gamers because it looks like the 5700X3D is confirmed. Well, it is confirmed. And this is going to probably be the gaming chip because it's 3D V cache. It's 4.1 gigahertz. You can see 100 megs worth of that caching system is quite a lot. 8-core 16-thread as well. So it's going to be able to do some gaming as well as streaming at the same time. It should actually be able to do both, absolutely no problems. And there's a couple of other new SKUs coming out on the 5000 series platform as well. But obviously the 5700X3D is looking like the one. The GTs are just upgrades from previous generation with a little bit more performance over what it was before, just to kind of keep in line with the competition from Intel, because they've kept DDR4 around. Then something else that was flippin' cool that I actually spoke to MSI about today. They've just teased their Claw, even in my general direction, and it's basically, it's going to be very similar to the ROG Ally. I know you guys are crawling in your skin at MSI as I say that, but it's the truth, okay? Except they've gone for the Intel variant, like kind of style to this, and what was most interesting on all of this media for me was the processing and the way that it's going to work, because you see it's got an NPU or neural processing unit, which works similar to your brain and has multiple pathways and can react better with AI type technology. So like your brain, it can react to situations and stuff where performance is needed sort of more actively, is the bullet point of the presentation from what I can see. But if we just scroll it a bit so you can see a bit better there, it's got 6 P cores, 8 E cores, and 2 low power E cores. So you're probably going to be able to use those low power ones to watch media and do something like that. But for gaming, which is obviously the focus of this, it does seem like 6 P cores in something this size is going to be kind of nuts. And not to be outdone, on Uncle Ace's side, they've introduced the ROG NUC, which is next unit of computing stuff, ultra slim PCs, and I've really enjoyed the trajectory of these. I actually launched the GR82 in South Africa when I was working at Asus. I was part of the team that launched that product in South Africa, and it was, I would say, a little bit ahead of its time. But now that we have 4070 and 4060s performing with such low wattage, this is just becoming that much more realistic that I can believe that it's going to perform extremely well. We don't have any more information than what you see over here, but it's a 2.5 liter chassis, so this is going to be ultra slim and small and just sit next to your TV. So if you wanted to stream games to it, a 4070 is going to be more than overkill. And what's really nice is this quad 4K display, so for those of us who need like kind of data centers or multiple video feeds at high resolution, drive that with an Intel Core i9 kind of equivalent with a 4070, it's gonna cut more than the mustard. Then in peripheral goodness, we have Cherry Xtrfy. Cherry seems to have bought Xtrfy a little while ago, and they've gone to work like really quickly. You can see by all of the new stuff that they're producing at CES and are showing off at CES, this being the full new range that they're coming in with. We've got really nice looking keyboards, which are just going to be good because they're going to be Cherry MX switches, right? But here's the things that honestly I think are attracting me specifically to it are these new mice, especially these new ergo shapes. It does look very G Pro plus ergo, right? And these look almost identical to G Pros. We're going to have to see the size and weight and such coming out, but I like the color, a little bit of color variance as well. It's kind of nice to have, but the shape on these with the 8 kilohertz polling rate, that's looking very, very attractive. And then similarly, they've got some wired and wireless versions that are just a bit more ergonomic. Nothing with thumb buttons on the other side for lefties, unfortunately. The microphone kits as well. This looks really, really promising. They've got an arm very similar to the Cougar Forte that I've reviewed late last year. And there's a new microphone. This looks like it's going to be an XLR capable one. And then a freestanding USB microphone, and then some more mouse pads as well. But I think you'll agree that this new equipment for microphones is very, very cool looking, and these masks are just drool worthy. And finally, in just cool overkill, extra thickness, HYTE. These guys have kind of sprung up out of nowhere, and they are making really cool water coolers. I would love to see this at Uncle Evetech. This looks like a 240mm and it's expensive, except that it's twice as thick as normal. You can see the radiator over there. Instead of 27mm, they've gone to a full 52. So it's literally 2mm short of being twice as thick. And yeah, if we scroll down over here to the tech specs, you're going to see that, yeah, heatsink exchanger is not exactly small. Another thing that's really insane is it's got dual pumps inside of the system that can hit 4,500 RPM. So the amount of time that the water is going to have flowing over the fins is going to be increased because it's just going to have more airflow. It's got like a really cool swivel screen on it as well, with a full IPS, I mean 720p 60Hz refresh rate, 300 nits worth of brightness as well, and then it's still LED backed, and it's got like a little swivel on the front of it. It just looks kind of amazing, and I really like the branding. THICC Q60, I mean, it just sets a tone, doesn't it? And that, my Limptions, are your boys' top news stories from CES. As more unfolds, we'll probably do a follow-up, especially with those AMD processors. I'm told that there might be some on the way for me to do some testing with, so I'm very much looking forward to that, because yeah, my 5900X compared to these X3D chips is just, it's just not cutting the mustard in gaming. Anywho, if you have enjoyed this, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.